still be able to mine gas from the other point. Savior now definitely seems to be in control of this game, and it's up to Stork to do something miraculous. What can Stork do here? I think the only thing Stork can do is try and take back that area outside his main. I think he needs to try and put a couple of cannons up. He definitely doesn't seem to have a problem with minerals. He should while he was trying to fend off Savior there, he should have put a couple of cannons up in his main. I guess he did try to do that and then got killed previously, but he needs a cannon for detection because he does not have observers. He's low on gas. He can't spend gas everywhere, and he's forced to fight with Zealots versus Lurkers, and that's really kind of a losing battle if you're forced to fight Zealots versus Lurkers. And Savior morphing a couple of Hydralisks into Lurkers there again, and Stork does manage to clear out his main finally, but I'm afraid by this stage I think he's just too far behind. Savior's got one single Lurker. Because Stork had only a single observer, he wasn't able to do much in terms of retaking both his expansion and his main, and he had to retake his main because he needed the gas in order to be able to fight this battle. So Stork is really fighting a losing battle here. It looked for a while in the beginning that Savior was in trouble when Stork was taking out his forces with those crosshairs, but once Savior had his Hydralisks, he played them brilliantly, and I think Stork got caught between kind of two stones. He was caught between going for Dark Templar crosshair and building up a force. His Dark Templar crosshair strategy was not effective in fighting off Savior. Savior now with another drop inside Stork's main. He's doing smallish drops. I think what Savior needs to do is stop trying to do these small drops. I know he wants to keep the pressure up, but what I think he needs to do is to bring a big massive drop and take Stork out, because the reality is even if Stork does get a gas, it's going to be a while before he's going to have Templar with energy to actually be able to do anything. And Savior, oh my god, brilliant drop there. Talk about micro. He just took out the observer, so Stork down to one observer again, and he continues to be low on gas. So and Savior's actually going to take out that Nexus, so he's taking out the expansion of Stork now. He's trying to focus on that observer with his Hydralisks. That was kind of very clever of him, but Stork micro that observer there, but nevertheless his expansion goes down, so Stork in deep trouble. It does look to me that there is no way back in this game for Stork. Savior is relentless, he is brutal, and he does not give any quarter when he is ahead. You cannot let Savior get ahead, and Savior is ahead, and once he's ahead, resistance is futile, and Stork still, nevertheless, you have to be impressed. Stork is holding a player of Savior's caliber off purely by Zealot play. I mean, unfortunately, most of those Templar don't have enough energy for storms, and because he didn't have gas for a long time. So Stork fighting really with one gas, and Saviour's got four. Saviour's also got 5 hatcheries, and he continues to morph those Lurkers to buy time for himself inside Stork's main. And really, I think the fact that the two bases were close together allowed Savior to play that drop game if the bases were full. But I mean, you can argue that the fact that the two bases are close together is what allowed Stork to pressure Savior in the beginning of the game to begin with. Had the bases not been close together, his forces would have taken longer to get across, and Savior would have had his Hydralisks up and would not have been vulnerable to that attack. So really, you could say that Stork played well, but he really has been outplayed. I think Stork went for a strategy that was countered well by Savior. I think the fact is you can see that Savior changed his strategy drastically in this game. Usually Savior does go for Spire first. It's very rare that you see Savior put up his Hydralisk stand first and not build a Spire at all. I can't remember the last time Savior did not build a Spire. This must be the first time. Usually he builds a Spire, at the very least to have Scourges to take down those observers versus Protoss. And again, now you can see that Stork has kind of sort of established a defense in his base, and he's got some gas, so he's able to produce kind of Dragoons and Templar and Archons, and he is sort of taking back this main. He does need to take that second gas, but I don't think Stork is going to find a way back in this game. Anyway, as I was saying, you can see that Savior changed his strategy. I think he's learned from the fact that he's vulnerable to this kind of crosshair Dark Templar techniques, and that's exact strategies, and that's exactly what Stork went for. And Savior had his counter prepared for it, and Savior went for Hydralisks, and really it was kind of the perfect counter. And had he not gone for those Hydralisks quickly, he might have been in trouble. So a good game. I think this is GG. I know there still seems to be some time left to go in the game. I'm really glad Savior won because I'm a huge Savior fanboy. You got to feel kind of bad for Stork. He didn't play badly. He has microed excellently with his limited resources, but I think it was overall the macro game which won the game for Savior in this instance. Savior's got overalls positioned all around Stork's base, so he has kind of a very good insight into what Stork is doing, and really Stork is very limited in what he can do because of the fact that he's lost 2 2 Nexuses, and he was without gas for a long time, and Stork is pretty much contained within his base. Stork, I don't know what he can do. He might try something desperate, but there's really very little he can do when Savior is so far ahead in this game. Savior now, could this be the final killer drop? Savior dropping a lot of Hydralisk. Savior going with a duel for Stork, so Stork has limited Templar, so he's gonna try and lure Stork into use that Templar there. He maneuvers those Hydralisk very well around the thing, and he drops his second drop, which is his main force, around Stork's main Nexus again, and those cannons go down. Stork with a pathetic force trying to counter Savior's attack, and that pathetic force is not going to do much. He's got 5 Zealots, he's going to take down that Sunken, but Savior's reinforcements should be ready any second now, and yeah, Savior's reinforcements coming down that ramp, Lurkers and Hydralisks, and Stork's pathetic counter is just going to be snuffed out without mercy by Savior, and Stork's Nexus is going to go down. In my view, Stork could have called this GG 5 or 10 minutes ago when he lost his expansion and had not had gas for some time, but he continues to try and fight. He just doesn't have the necessary resources, the unit flow, or even a built-up army to be able to take on Savior. And Stork finally realizing and conceding that it was hopeless, and he has been assimilated by Savior's merciless, methodical play. It did look a little bit shaky for Savior in the beginning of the game, but once he got those Hydralisks down, you can say that he was in control pretty much from there on in. The turning point in the game was definitely the drop. I do feel that the proximity of the bases definitely influenced the way the game was played out, and I do think that Stork kind of got caught between 2 or 3 different things. First, he was going for Crosshair Dark Templar. That didn't work, so he tried to expand, and obviously he focused his defenses at his expansion. He did have a couple of cannons built in his main, but he didn't have enough troops. Essentially, he was relying on cannons to do his defending for him. I think maybe, I guess you could say that because he went Dark Templar Crosshair, he expanded too quickly after that without having enough to defend both his main and his expansion. But I mean, you can't blame him for not anticipating that Savior would go for a drop. I mean, when was the last time you saw Savior go for such kind of an all-in strategy where he went straight for Hydralisk and did not try to go past Lair Tech, just went for a quick drop? So Savior definitely had his game plan in mind. I think both players had good micro. So if you have to say, the deciding factor was the macro strategies that the 2 players came in with beforehand. Savior's proved superior. So that was GG. That was a good game. I was worried for a bit that Savior was going to lose, but he didn't. He came out on top, and all smiles there. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that. I certainly did. The 2 players just exchanging a few words there. I don't think there's going to be any animosity. That was a good game. That was straight up play, and both players, I think, giving each other the due respect. So I would be interested if you guys could give me a little feedback on this video and tell me how you feel it is compared to the other ones I've made so far on this commentary, because I obviously had no clue going into this, and maybe I was doing more of a play-by-play than I should have. So let me know how that works, and let me know which style you prefer. This is Klazar. Thanks for listening.
마재훈 선수가 이번 경기에서 이런 식으로 승리를 거둘 수 있었던 거라고 봅니다.
네, 분명히 송동훈 선수 초반 상황이 상당히 좋았고 꽤 오랜 시간 커세어 상대방 기들을 정찰하고 있었습니다. 스파이어가 분명히 없었습니다. 그런데 프로브로 상대방 기지 앞에서 만약에 진을 치고 있었다면 아니 히드라인데 왜 히드라가 본진의 꿍에 있냐, 이런 어떤 의구심을 갖고 템플러 한두 기라도 본진 쪽에다 배치를 했더라면 좀 더 안정적으로 깔끔하게 방어를 하지 않았을까 하는 그런 송동훈 선수 실책이 약간은 아쉽고요. 그리고 마지막으로 마재훈 선수의 그 상대방으로 하여금 침착성과 어떤 평정심을 잃어버리게 하게끔 만드는 그런 능력들. 마지막 그 러시는 솔직히 가도 안 되는 거 본인 자신도 알았을 겁니다. 근데 결국 가게 만드는, 상대방에게 어떤 평정심을 잃어버리게끔 하는 그런 능력이 정말 너무나도 돋보이네요.
정말 역대 3번 우승자들은 지난 경기도 그렇고 오늘도 그렇고 불가사의한 경기를 보여줍니다. 자, 잠시 이 선수는 또 어떤 불가사의한 경기를 보여줄지 박재민 선수, 연보성 선수의 경기 기대해 주시기 바랍니다. 이 경기입니다.